Hi, and welcome to HUR at Home. I'm your host, Angela Stribling. It's Wednesday night, so you know it's all about lifestyle. And it's a very, very special night. If you don't know why it's so special, I'm going to tell you why in just a few minutes. Let me talk about our guests. Maysa has won our hearts years ago. She came on the scene. You know, we heard her with Incognito, we heard her with Stevie Wonder, and many other people. So she's our guest tonight, but we're going to get things started with Grammy-nominated saxophonist Boney James, who's been doing his thing in such a cool way for so long. What's so special? Today is July 8th, and it's Melvin Lindsey's birthday. He's the creator of the Quiet Storm. So that's why it's called the original Quiet Storm. You know, you hear the Quiet Storm in so many markets, not just around the country, but around the world. Well, you need to know it started at Howard University Radio, and he is the one who made it what it is today. It's a phenomenon. So we're celebrating Melvin, and of course we're going to talk to these artists about just everything, music, whatever they want to talk about, we're going to talk about it. So let's get this party started with the one and only. If I had an applause, I could clap myself. Boney James! Hi, Boney.
Hey, Angela, it's so great to see you.
It's so great to see you. Wow, look at you looking good.
Thank you so much. And back at you, looking fantastic.
I am so excited. You are here. The comments are already going crazy. Let me just shout out. Our WHUR family is in the house, almost everybody. Got the big boss here. We've got a lot of our talent here. Kokalani, Jen, Stacy. These are our listeners. The list goes on, and people couldn't wait until you got here, as well as Maysa. So how are you doing? How have you been handling this whole pandemic?
I'm doing my best. I mean, it ebbs and flows in terms of how I'm handling it, I suppose. But I mean, today's a good day. If you can stay out of worrying about the future, and just try and stay in the moment to get through it. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's sort of similar for me when I'm not on the road. I'm just back here in my studio, hanging out, practicing my saxophone anyway. I'm a real homebody, so it's not driving me crazy that I'm not out there going to clubs and all this other stuff that a lot of people seem to want to do. But I sure do miss playing concerts. I mean, we had a big slate of shows that was getting ready to happen. We had to push the record release back, and my album's out now, and so I'm trying to promote the record from my backyard here. So all that stuff is a little bit of a challenge.
From the backyard. Thank God for social media. You know what? Speaking of your album, congratulations. Solid. It's doing so well. Isn't it on the pop charts, Billboard's top 10?
Yeah,
what?
Yeah. Its first week it was. I mean, it's fallen off now, but our debut was number 10 on the pop chart. It was like Lady Gaga, Harry Styles, BTS, Chloe and Halle, and then little old Boney James. So that was
wow, that's huge. Yeah.
Something good happened. I guess I'm very grateful to all the fans for going out and picking up the record. And so, we'll try and keep it going as best we can because it makes the label happy and that lets me get to keep making records, you know.
There you go. And that's what we want you to do. People are shouting you out already. I don't know if you can see the comment section. Oh, our very own Manzi Pullen. He hosts the Quiet Storm on Sunday nights. Love Manzi. And gosh, Al Payne, our program director, all these folks are here. Everyone says they miss you and they love you. Look at that.
Thank you.
So, life of a musician, like you said, you're used to touring. You would be on the road right now. Hi, Deborah. And, it's been since March for most people that people have shut down. You say that you're at home, social distancing and playing your saxophone. Yeah. But what else are you doing? Like when you promote this new album, how do you do that?
Well, I've done a lot of Facebook Lives. I did 12 Facebook Lives in a row every Friday, and then I took a little break, but we're coming back this Friday, so I'm going to do another Facebook Live on my Facebook page, like a mini concert, just connecting with the fans, and thousands and thousands of people have been tuning into those. So that's been a nice thing to do. I've been doing a lot of press like we're doing right now, but it's not the same for sure as being out there playing shows. And
well, you look like you've been working out. You're slim.
Thank you. Yes, thanks for noticing. I think I've lost like over 10 pounds.
What? Most people are gaining weight. How are you doing?
I think it was a combination of I'm working out every day, which I kind of had, fallen off doing that when I was working on the record and when I'm touring in and out of town. it's
hard.
hard to keep that program up. So I'm home now and I got all this energy I need to, bust. So I'm working out every day. And also I'm like not having like the late night meals like I used to have when we would play a show and I can't eat all day and then I have a big meal after the show. And I think that must have been affecting my weight. So, I'm eating like, nice, sensible meals and just kind of keeping track of things. And I've lost over 10 pounds since
Oh
this.
my gosh, discipline. Well, obviously you're not just sitting around looking at movies, eating snacks, working out every day. What do you have, a home gym or what?
Yeah, I have a little home gym and I've got my studio in the backyard. I mean, I can actually occupy myself out here happily for a long time. So I'm not going crazy at all. I mean, I got my saxophone and I can just come out here and there's always something musical to work on. Although I'm not writing new music now because I just released this new record. So
Exactly. That's good. You're doing your Facebook Live. I remember the first time I saw you in concert. And this was probably when I was hosting Bet on Jazz.
yes,
And, everybody was talking about your hair and your hat, your,
yes,
your look. And you dance. I mean, you're like all over the stage, seriously dancing.
yeah.
Is
I'm
that something
I'm
you
irrepressible. Once I hear the music, if the band is grooving and the song is I'm feeling it, I just can't stop myself from moving, and that always came very naturally for me. And it was somewhat of a surprise, I think, when I noticed how much the audiences were digging that, and it sort of became like a part of my persona. But I mean, to me, it's always been very natural. That's just the way I react to music, and luckily people seem to enjoy watching it.
We do. We enjoy watching it. We enjoy
What a memory that is at Bet on Jazz. I mean, that's a number of years ago. And let me just say, I think we both look fabulous.
I know. I got to stop bringing that up because that was so doggone long ago. But you know what? I'm so
Years
proud
ago.
of it. I'm
Yeah.
proud of it.
That was a great show, and I'm honored to have been on there. It's
Yeah,
big
you're
memories.
on there a
Sure.
lot. And yeah, I used to love it when you were there. I'd love interviewing you. And I remember you told me a long time ago about the story of how you got the name Boney James.
Yes.
Do you mind telling the people who don't know that story?
Well, James is actually my first name, although people call me Mr. James all the time, and I'm really used to that now. But back in the old days, in like 1986, I was on the road with Randy Crawford's band, a great singer from the Crusaders, Street Life, and many others, of course. And she was very popular in Scandinavia back in those days. So we'd go to Oslo, Norway, and Denmark, Sweden for months at a time. And everything cost a fortune over there. So I said to the keyboard player, Wayne Lindsey, one day, I just won't eat for the next couple of days. And he said, you'll get all skinny. I'll have to start calling you Boney James or something. and the name just stuck. The cats, I said, don't call me Boney James, because I thought it was silly, And that's how you get a nickname.
I love it. Exactly. You can't just name yourself. Okay, something was happening with the sound there, but it just went away.
Yeah.
So thank you. No, that's such a good story. And Wayne Lindsey is so amazing. I mean, he spent many years in this.
And Wayne went to Howard, didn't he? I think pretty sure he did.
Oh, everybody loves Wayne Lindsey. You played with such amazing people. I mean, you said Randy Crawford. I mean, that's, just the tip of the iceberg. We had Kenny Lattimore on here last week, and we were talking about you and that single, Be Here. We are playing so much. It is so beautiful.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys so much for spinning the record. I really appreciate the support, first of all. But yeah, what an honor to have Kenny on the record, and we're so grateful that it became, a nice size hit for us. And we were both in love with the song when we made it, so we're glad that everyone's loving it as much as we did.
And you guys you've known each other for a long time, though, right?
Well, very sort of tangentially. I mean, we met at the Soul Train Awards. I think it was 1990. Whenever it was I won the Soul Train Award for Best Jazz Record, I'm going to say it was 97 or 98. And he had just had his big hit record, and he came up to me backstage and introduced himself, and we had a sort of a mutual admiration society backstage. And, back then we said, well, we should work together someday. And then we never did. I mean, we would run into each other here and there, play concerts together, and it just, the timing wasn't right, or, whatever. It just never happened until now, 20 years later, we finally made this collaboration. So
The timing is everything. Okay, people are asking, where is your hat? Somebody said, well, he only wears it on stage. So what's the deal with the hat? When you're walking around, do you wear it, or is it only on stage? What's the story?
Well, most people do not recognize me without my hat. That's the funny thing. I've really, I've been doing all these, on some of these cruises. I'll walk around the boat without my hat on, and people like be talking about me in the elevator, and they don't know.
And you're standing right there.
But once I started doing these Facebook Lives, I mean, just to be outside here at my house, I never wear my hat around the house. I only wear it when I'm gigging, So it felt natural to just do these Facebook Lives and all this promo without my hat. Although I did put it on the day the record came out. I had played one song with the hat on. Everyone's like, "There's Boney,"
Right now, who else does that? Marcus Miller.
Yes.
You know what? And we were on, I think it was a Smooth Jazz cruise. And he, always walks around with his, like you, signature hat. And he goes, okay, time to put my costume on. And he took the hat off.
Right.
Nobody knew it was him. He's talking to people, and they're, no one knew. It's funny.
Yeah. Well, especially if I have my glasses on, too, then really nobody will know who I am.
I love it. Well, I mentioned, someone has a question for you. What's your favorite song on Solid? And they said theirs is Sundance.
Oh, Sundance is a good one.
So what's your favorite song?
Well, it's so difficult for me to pick favorites when I make a record. In fact, all the songs I've made, this is my 17th CD now, so that's a lot of music. But they all feel like my children. It's like 140 children I've had.
Good kids, too.
Yeah. It's hard for me to pick favorites. I mean, this particular record, though, I do feel like every piece of music on there is pretty strong. I'm really, really proud of the record, and every song is pretty good. But Sundance is a nice one. That's a song that I co-wrote with a great songwriter, producer named Jairus Mosey, J-Mo, who has had a bunch of hits. He used to play guitar in my band when he was a young kid. And then he said, I'm going to concentrate on writing and producing. And since then, he's had cuts with Nicki Minaj and, Anderson .Paak. And yeah, he's tearing it up. But we're still writing songs together. And that's one of the first songs on the new record that we did together, Sundance.
I love it. Oh, someone wrote hat, no hat, love it either way. I agree with you on that one. Now, I read somewhere that you fell in love with the saxophone or started playing the saxophone at age 10. Is that true?
Yes.
That's a big instrument for a 10-year-old.
Well, I'm playing the tenor mostly now, but I picked up the alto first. But I got to say, it was a drag because I had been playing clarinet for 2 years before that. And the teacher was sort of leaning on me to switch to saxophone because he had so many clarinets in the band. And I didn't want to do it because it was a much heavier case that I was going to have to carry to and from school. But once he explained to me that I could be in the stage band once I got to the junior high, and they had these snazzy satin jackets, and they had a drummer and electric guitar, and it's that's what made me think, all right, well, maybe I'll do this after all. And as soon as I picked it up, it really became my favorite thing to do, and it still is today.
I love it. It requires, for any successful musician, they've got to shed, right? I mean, you've got to, doesn't matter how good you are, you've got to practice all the time. Do you still practice? When you're at home, how often?
That's mainly what I'm doing now that I'm sort of stuck at home. But even before that, I practice every day, 3 to 6 hours a day, except for Sunday. I always take 1 day off, just to get a little rest. But I'm always working on it. It's the saxophone. It's not a very forgiving instrument. It's if you leave it alone for a little while, it's not gonna. I'll notice it after 1 day, and you'll probably notice it after 3.
It's not something that you just pick up. I know a lot of saxophonists. I obviously don't play a saxophone, but you've got to make sure your reed is moistened. So you've got to put that in your mouth, and for I guess a while before you actually start playing. And it's more than a notion.
Yes, it's very demanding. You can't just sit down at a piano and play. You have to have a good reed, first of all. That takes time even to find one. And then it's like conditioning. It's all very physical playing this instrument with the way you're holding your chest, your throat and your mouth, and these muscles have to be in shape. So it's kind of like being an athlete, and you have to sort of keep it up, or it's going to go away and it won't sound so good.
No, but that's true. So I'm asking you that because I'm sure a lot of younger musicians see you on the stage, see you, all the love and adoration that you get, and they're probably thinking, hey, I could do that. I want to do that. What do you tell them?
Well, it is work. That's the thing. People do think that there's a magic bullet, and there's no set way. I mean, if people are sincerely interested in having a career in music, I always say you should go for it. If this is the one thing you love more than anything, there's no greater gift, I think, in life than pursuing your dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I was grateful for the opportunity to even be trying to do this back in the days when I was delivering pizzas to pay the bills. And
What's that? Delivering pizzas?
that was my day gig before I was able to start making a living as a musician. My first professional gig was with Morris Day, right after Purple Rain came out, and I got into the band with Morris and played with him for 5 years. But
that is right. That is right. How was that playing with Morris Day? I mean, he's a character.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Although, he's sort of quiet when you meet him backstage. That's sort of a persona that he has.
Persona is a character, yeah.
Yeah, he's a sort of an introverted person. As many, I feel like an introvert for the most part too when I'm not, doing my thing on stage. But it was a great learning experience for me. I mean, certainly he put on a great show, and I learned a lot about entertaining from my time with Morris, for sure.
I bet you did. I mean, showmanship. I mean, between Morris Day and Prince and people like that, if you don't figure out the showmanship from them. Is that when you started dancing and doing your thing when you were with Morris Day?
Well, there was choreography that the band had to do. And so I think I maybe just became conscious of, but I always moved when I was playing, And I remember I was playing with another band. It was Martika. This was a pop singer in the late 80s. She had a song called Toy Soldiers.
Okay.
Her band. And I was just playing keyboards, so hardly any sax at all, but I was attracting attention to myself backstage, in the back, because I was always moving, And so, I
just
think
naturally.
I'm irrepressible sometimes. When I hear music, I just got to move,
Don't stop. Keep going. I mentioned right before we brought you on that today is such a special day.
Yeah.
And it's because it's Melvin Lindsey's birthday. And I love him so much. He's gone way too soon. But he was my very best friend. And he created, The Quiet Storm. And so have you ever listened to The Quiet Storm? Do you have...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, sure. I love Quiet Storm. There's many Quiet Storms. There's a lot of stations have Quiet Storm segments around the country, and thankfully many of them do include me and my music. So
yes, they do.
I'm glad I can fit in, for sure. But yeah, that's definitely my kind of music. Quiet Storm, for sure.
Well, it's beautiful. Well,
I did not know that HUR had created that format.
Yes, started right there. And I'm so, I try to let people know that as often as possible because, it's become successful in many markets. Some people thought it started in New York with Von Harper. Some people thought it started in Philly, just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And, but as the story goes, it was Melvin Lindsey. He was just a very young man. And, his personality, and that was back in the days when the DJs could choose their own music. So you can always tell. I mean, it was before I even, he was a little bit older than me. And it was before I even got to DC, when the Quiet Storm started. But even when I got here, he was doing the Quiet Storm, and it was amazing. You could always tell his mood by his choice of songs, by his music. You know what I mean? If he's in love, you'd hear all these love songs, and it would just set the stage for, whatever you've got going on in your personal life. If he just broke up with somebody, you were feeling the heartbreak and you were hearing it. You know what I mean? It was just such a beautiful flow. And, he broke a lot of artists, who I guess owe him a lot of gratitude, and we're very vocal about that back then. But I was going to say, there's a young lady who was also very popular on The Quiet Storm, and we play her music a lot. We love her so much, just like we love you, Boney. And I'd love to bring her on right now.
Yeah, I think we should.
Ladies and gentlemen, another multiple Grammy-nominated artist who started really young and who's amazing. Let's bring on Maysa.
Hello.
Looking good, lady. Hi,
Maysa. How you doing, honey?
Really good. You look so good. You got me in here, trying to fix my lighting. You look gorgeous.
Yeah, I love this light. This ring light is my saving grace right now.
The ring light is everything.
Everybody looks beautiful.
I know she does.
Thank you,
Well,
honey.
both
Thank
of
you.
you are absolutely gorgeous. So, Boney and Maysa, you two know each other, right? Have you met
Oh
before
yeah.
tonight?
Yeah, we worked together. We've done some shows together, a lot
Yep.
of festivals together.
We have hung out backstage many times.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Very nice. Well, tonight is such a special night. We've invited all of our listeners to join us. They're all just sending you so much love. If you look at the comment section, they're all
Oh,
trying to get our attention. Mesa, Boney! Oh, and I got a shout out in there too. Hi.
thank you.
They threw me a bone. But we're celebrating Melvin Lindsey's birthday. And, I wanted to bring you both on at the same time, just in case you wanted to grace us with any music,
Oh
maybe
yeah.
a celebration. Do you feel like,
Yes, let's
doing a
do
little
it.
something together?
I'm honored to be on here tonight on Melvin's birthday. This is Quiet Storm has just catapulted my career back in the day, and I appreciate it. Even got in trouble because when I went to another market and I mentioned the original Quiet Storm here from Melvin Lindsey and HU, I got in a lot of trouble.
They all try to claim it.
But I tell the truth. The truth is the truth. Too. I'm
The
sorry.
truth is the truth. We got to let them know. And
So
we
I
could
have already. We could do the song from my the last album. Working on number 14 now, with the 13th solo album. Love is a Battlefield. It's a covers album, and I covered Pat Benatar's big hit because I think because in the world that we live in right now, that all the good people of the world want love to win. And so I'm honored that Boney James is gonna play on this right now. Oh my goodness!
Oh, that's
And
so perfect.
that's for you
Sit
right
back
now.
and enjoy it.
Hope you can hear everything. Come on, babe. You're begging me to go, making me stay. Why do you hurt me so bad? You need to know, do I stand in your way? Or am I the best thing you've had? Believe me, I can't tell you why. 'Cause I'm trapped by your love and I'm chained to your side. We are young, heartache to heartache, we stand. No promises, no demands. Love is a battlefield. We are strong. No one can tell us we're wrong. Drag our hearts for so long. Both of us knowing love is a battlefield. When I'm losing control, you turn me away or touch me deep inside. All this gets old, but it still feels the same. There's no way this will die. But if we get much closer, I could lose control. And if your heart surrenders, you need me to. Oh, we are young, heartache to heartache, we stand. No promises, no demands. Love is a battlefield. Oh, we are strong. No one can tell us we're wrong. Love is a battlefield. We are strong. No one can tell us we're wrong. Searching our hearts for so long. Life's so weird. Love is a battlefield. Love is a battlefield. Yes, we want love to win. Oh, we want love to win.
Oh my goodness! Wow, this is like a dream right here. Wow, that was beautiful. Both of you, thank you so much. Oh, I'm almost speechless. That was just so beautiful. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Collaboration goes right here on.
Bi-coastal, no less.
Bi-coastal. Impromptu. This is what WHUR is bringing all of our listeners, all of our viewers. Boney and Maysa. That is a winning combination. And I love the song choice. You know, right now, the world is going through so much. And I mean, both of you, I'd love to get your feedback. Just the social unrest because of the injustices, and people are pushing back and saying enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you think that maybe once and for all, the world is changing? What do you both think?
I believe so. I hope so. I mean, what else can we do? We can't go backwards now.
Yeah.
We got to move forward. And this world should be about love. Just
right.
All it should be about is loving each other and being nice to each other, being cordial and having manners and just being considerate. I think, it's like the lack of compassion is the true root of all evil to me. And it's like you have compassion for people, then you have a good self-esteem, and then you should love each other. And that's what I hope we're heading to.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure. I mean, it's definitely an opportunity for change. I think people, being home and everyone's focusing on, a lot of people, I think, are seeing some of this stuff for the first time that hadn't been aware of the situation and the reality of how bad things were in a lot of areas in this country. So it's an opportunity with the election coming up and everything, people can maybe see these things clearly and we'll get some change.
Yeah, I pray so. I hope so. I pray so. I know. So, I mean, I think people need to vote. They definitely need to vote. And that's their the ultimate way of protesting and speaking up, when people, see something that's wrong. And that's what I love about what's happening right now. No one's getting a pass. I mean, people have their cell phones, they can videotape the injustices. And it's not just Black people pushing back. These are Black people, white people, just people who have a conscience. And, right is right and wrong is wrong.
Right, people unite, for sure.
Yeah, so as much love and good music like you guys are doing, I mean, that's what heals the world. So I really thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, no, thanks for having me. Music brings people together. That's the beautiful thing about what we do,
It really does. I mean, with, the pandemic, and it's changed the way that people are going to move, especially with artists. Are you afraid, like, once you are able to tour again, are you a little afraid to get out there and, shake hands with the people after the concert, or what's that going to look like?
I just want to. I just miss it so much. I'm ready to do it. I want everybody to be protected and safe, and I want it to be fixed. That's all.
Yeah, I second that.
Just fix it.
Fix the thing, please.
Fix it. It's stopping a whole lot of things, and you both have a whole lot of work to do. Boney, you've got this new album to get out there and promote and tour, right? I mean, and Maysa, you too, and you've got your own record label. Congratulations.
Yeah, Blue Velvet Soul Records. And my EP is coming out sometime this summer, I hope. They had a little halt on it because of this COVID thing. But the EP is called Music for Your Soul. And I'm almost done. And it's just a little thing that's supposed to give us a meditation, just to chill out, get ready for the new decade. And then this thing came and like, what?
Music for Your Soul.
Mm-hmm, music for your soul.
Like meditation, just very smooth vibe.
It's mostly encouraging music, stuff like that. A couple love songs, but mostly encouraging music.
I love that. But you always kind of lean to an inspirational kind of vibe, right? And a lot of your songs are very inspiring.
Yeah, I try to do positive music. I mean, I want something. If I want to leave a legacy, I want to be people to know me for good, wholesome music that the whole family can listen to. I mean, I do a few things about my broken hearts or something like that. I've done that during my career too, but as I get older, I want to do more of a collective, love the world kind of thing. I want everybody to focus on the good stuff and the happiness of life and choosing to be happy. That's a big deal right now, making that choice.
I love it. And I know, Boney, we were going to, let you go. I don't know if you have to go. But if you guys want to toast, I mean, it's Melvin's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers. Cheers. You got something? Oh, good. This is really just Coca-Cola, but what the heck? I'll pretend.
Cranberry juice.
What do you got in there? Cranberry? So here's to Melvin.
Here's to Melvin.
Here's to Melvin.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. God bless you both. I know, Maysa, you said you have to run. Thank you both for the song. I mean, I want you both to just keep doing what you're doing. Tell people how they can connect with you on social media. And, these days, artists are not out here working. So people supporting your music, buying your music, not so much streaming, but actually buying the music and buying your merchandise goes further than maybe it ever has before.
Yeah.
Right?
Now. Yes.
So really, I always want to encourage people to support the artists that they love. So please, just individually, whoever Boney, tell us first, how can people get your merchandise, buy your music, and connect with you on social media?
Well, if you go to boneyjames.com, there's the link to the store and the link to all of my social media. So that's probably the easiest thing. Just www.boneyjames.com.
Doesn't get any easier than that.
Yep.
And Maysa?
The same thing, just Maysa.com, Maysa.com, and all my links to my kitchen karaoke on Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything is on there. Everything you can find pertaining to me and my Maysa store and all that stuff. Yeah, it does help a lot when everybody buys stuff from the store and merchandise and stuff and buys the actual records on Amazon or iTunes, whatever. But the streaming thing, we have, there's issues, but what can you do? But I appreciate everything everybody's done to keep us going during this time because our jobs have been kind of taken away. So it's amazing.
It's amazing. And so, yes, please support these artists. I am loving your kitchen karaoke, by the way.
Oh, thank you, honey.
And so, wait.
Came in not too long ago.
Did you?
Uh-huh.
And so yours is on Sundays at what time?
7:30 p.m. Eastern.
And Boney, you're doing your Facebook Live. When is that?
That's going to be Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
And is that every Friday or just this Friday?
Well, they're going to be intermittent. I did it every Friday for a while, but that's probably maybe going to be monthly. We'll see how long I can stay away.
Okay.
But I'll be playing songs off the new Solid CD, which is also in stores and available everywhere. So.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. Love you for helping us celebrate Melvin Lindsey. And of course, we'll keep rocking your music. Keep doing what you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, have a good night. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of HUR at Home. Wow, I am just so full. This was so wonderful. And the music, we're going to upload everything to WHUR.com. really quickly, and I'm going to go there so I can hear that music immediately. I'm your host, Angela Stribling, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Actually, tomorrow night, make sure you join us on WHUR's IG page. 9 o'clock, we're going one-on-one, home to home with the soulful Howard Hewitt. So make sure you join us then. Thanks a lot. Have a good night.